Hi, I'm Melanie Ann Phillips, co-creator of the Dramatica theory and software, and welcome to another exciting episode of Dramatica Unplugged, that ongoing series of programs which delve deeply into the secrets of story structure and storytelling to help you improve your writing with or without using the Dramatica software. Tonight's program is entitled Plot Part 1, and as you might imagine, that indicates that next week will be Plot Part 2. So, getting right into the heart of the matter, what is plot? Well, if you ask most authors what plot is, they'll tell you it's the series of events that takes place in a story. That's actually only partially correct. You see, the order in which events take place in the story could mean the order in which events happen to the characters in the internal world or internal logic of the story. Or it could mean the order in which events are revealed to the audience. A real extreme example of this is Pulp Fiction, the motion picture, in which each scene that takes place is jumbled up completely in its presentation to the audience from the order in which it actually occurred. Such things as flashbacks and flash forwards can come into play, and also revealing information over time so that people only understand in the audience what actually was happening later on. It's important, therefore, if we're to understand the nature of the structural aspect of plot, which is that internal logic inside the story, independent of presentation, we need to separate the two. Now, in a future episode of Dramatica Unplugged, we'll be covering story weaving. Story weaving encompasses all of the techniques for dropping your exposition, for unfolding your story over time to an audience. Stripping that away, we still need to know, when all is said and done, how things actually came down in the story proper. And that's what we'll be dealing with tonight. So, plot takes its place as one of the aspects of the elements of structure, along with character, theme, and genre. Those items all have structural components, the building blocks that determine how the inner logic of a story actually works. When you're looking at what happens over time, then you're going to be focusing primarily on plot. And later, when you get into the story weaving aspect in storytelling, you'll determine how to let the audience know about this, whether you fake them out by changing the order of some things that only they find out at the end of the story what the order really was. If you withhold information, making them think something is one thing when it turns out to be another, that's going to determine the order in which events appear to be to the audience, the order in which they're revealed. But the order in which they actually occurred inside your story, that's plot. Now, I mentioned all the other elements of structure as well: character, theme, and genre. Well, each one of these is not independent. Character isn't just character, it also has the character's thematic considerations. They also work within the genre, contributing to it. And in fact, characters also have an element of plot. So too, each one of these elements of structure affects the other three, is impacted by the other three, and plot is no different. Plot, in fact, impacts character or intersects with the structure of character insofar as when people do things, it depends upon their character and also on the experiences they have. So, character and plot, in that sense, must work in conjunction. If an event like an earthquake occurs, it will change what's going on inside a character's mind that would not have happened if that event had not occurred in the plot. So plot affects character. And similarly, if the character comes to some conclusion because they're working things out inside, and therefore they take certain actions, these actions would not have been taken if they had not had that internal deliberation. So character affects plot. So they're intimately intertwined. Character growth, character development is part of plot because it is a linear progression, because it is a timeline that says, here is how the character is now, here's how they change to this point. Similarly in theme. Theme isn't just the topic that you're talking about. When you say, this is what the subject of our story is, that's the thematic topic. When you make a thematic argument over time to try and bring your audience an emotional experience that leads them to have feelings about the topic that are the feelings you wanted them to have, that progression of that emotional thematic argument is also part of plot. Or should I say, it's the intersection of plot and theme, because it involves the unfolding of events that have thematic meaning over time. Plot also affects genre. A lot of people think genre is just a cut and dried thing. You're working in a genre. You're writing a horror story. You're writing a western. In fact, A genre is not complete until the story is completely told. Along the way, you're dropping information, you're using particular styles, but there is also a plot aspect of genre. When and how the material that makes up the genre feel of a story is worked into the structure. When certain topics are explored, when certain subject matter is explored in a particular order, the order that you choose will contribute the plot aspect to your genre as well. Now, in upcoming classes on genre, we're going to get a chance to really look into this mechanism in more detail and debunk a lot of myths about genre and open it up so that it's no longer a nebulous thing, but has many very specific ways that you can manipulate the genre experience for your audience over time and the ultimate result that you've created. However, right now we're going to be dealing with plot, and suffice it to say that plot does not stand alone independently of character, theme, and genre, but in fact works upon them and is worked upon by them as well.